Senator McCain, you are now in your 5th term, and it's coming up. You're running for your 6th term this coming November. You've introduced a lot of legislation in your 30 years of service for the state. So what initiative do you feel that you'd like to carry through and see it through, or is there anything new that you'd like to introduce? What basically could Arizona expect from you if reelected?
Well, first of all, the world is in more turmoil than it's been since the end of World War II. When we see whether it be in Ukraine being dismembered, all the turmoil in the Middle East, the attacks in San Bernardino, and as chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, I'm able to help the men and women who serve. I'm able to make sure they're properly trained and equipped, and that we need to make a lot of reforms as well. So the Armed Services Committee plays a key role there. In Arizona, we are facing a crisis of water. Fire and water will be the issues of the 21st century in Arizona. 20% of our national forests have been burned in the last 10 years, and we're in a 14-year drought. So those issues that I've spent a lot of time on over the years, both national security-wise and Arizona-wise, I think are the top priorities that I would have.
There's definitely coming up some water wars between definitely central Phoenix area and Yuma County, where we are growing a lot of the world's crops, including the nation's. So what are some, I guess, ways to approach this crisis of water? Because Yuma County does feel really stable here because we do have the oldest water rights. But how can Arizona work to distribute or even conserve even in an area where we feel it's not necessary yet?
Well, first of all, we're going to have to find out ways to save water. If we cannot keep using water at the rate we are, that means that we're going to have to make some very tough decisions about groundwater rights, about when we build new homes, what the water situation is going to be there. And we're going to have to look at agriculture as well, because right now it is not a sustainable situation. Anyone who's been up to Lake Powell, where you see the bathtub rings, as you've seen Lake Powell recede to its lowest level that it's been since we built the dam. If there were easy answers, we would have thought of them a long time ago. But one of the areas that we have to really finish up on, and that is Indian water rights. Until the tribes, all of the tribes' water rights are settled, then we won't know how much water there is available. So carrying on in the tradition of Senator John McCain, I will be working on the water rights issues as well.
So we need to get into a partnership with the Native American tribes in order to combat this issue properly. Moving forward, I mean, we have a lot of immigration issues overseas, but always here at the Arizona-Mexican border. And currently, Arizona Customs and Border Protection say that there's been a 500% increase in illegal migrants apprehended at Yuma County's border. I know that you did introduce legislation to combat this issue, but do you think that more extreme measures need to be met with this issue?
One of the issues that we have today is children showing up at our borders and being able to stay. What we should do is increase our funding and personnel in the 3 countries of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras, so that people who have human rights problems can have those addressed there rather than coming to our border and having legal proceedings taken here. Our ability to judge these people has been overwhelmed. So in the short term, we need to increase the staffing and of additional judges for the children that show up. As far as the border itself is concerned, there is an increased flow of manufactured heroin, which is causing a dramatic increase in drug overdose deaths in the Northeast and the Midwest. And I was in New Hampshire recently. They view it as an epidemic, the dramatic increase of heroin drug overdose deaths.
Right, and most of them are coming from Arizona's border. I saw that meeting.
Much of that is coming across Arizona's border. So we have to make a lot of progress in stopping this flow of drugs across the border, which is literally killing particularly young people.
And I know that Arizona's governor introduced a strike force team in order to try to curb that from happening. But what else do you feel can be done? Because this is an age-old issue.
It's mainly in technology. We now have developed towers that can specifically surveil long stretches of the border. We need to be able to surveil the entire border so that someone not in a car in a 118-degree heat next to a fence, but someone sitting back in an air-conditioned place watching all of the border, and when they see someone trying to penetrate or groups of people, then they can send out SWAT teams and intercept them. That really is the long-term solution. It's going to cost more money. And right now there's also over 100 person shortage of our Border Patrol as well as our customs.
Right, I also heard that it's because of a pay cut that a lot of them are leaving the job too.
Yeah, it's not so much the pay cut as it is the desirability. Look, it gets very hot on our border. And what I think we need to do is give them, like we give them the military hardship pay, we need to increase the pay for those Border Patrol and customs agents that work under very difficult conditions. And that's the other thing is that we just passed a law that requires priority hiring for veterans. And a lot of our veterans do not need additional training. They could go almost right into a job of Border Patrol and customs agents. So,
and also fill that shortage.
And fill that shortage.
Definitely something to keep in mind. Well, thank you so much for meeting us in this interview. That concludes it.